Alrighty y'all, this is World Class Jerk, and today we're going to be talking about 3 rover designs that you must have in your Astroneer save. And so, without further ado, coming in rather abruptly here at number 3 is going to be the Debris Scrapper, or the Debris Scrapper as the kids would say. But basically there's not a whole lot to say about this son of a gun. Basically you just roam the earth looking for some debris to scrap, and then you scrap it. Now one thing to keep in mind is that you actually might want to just do scrapping at your base and package up the stuff and bring it back to your base, but don't, because that's stupid. It just wastes your base space because you have scrappers there that you don't need, and it wastes your packagers because you want to package the scrap up to take it back. So do it all on the Rover, or you're stupid. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the Bitemaster. I don't really know, I didn't come up with a good name for this one because I wasn't thinking very much, but this one's obviously very self-explanatory. You go around the world looking for these research samples, and then you research them. Now, World Class Jerk, why don't I just bring them back to my base on my Rover instead? Because, again, just like with the last one, that's stupid, because you don't need research chambers on your base, and yes, you don't need them on the Rover. It could be argued either way, but in the Rover it has a couple advantages. The first one is that when you put it on the Rover, then your job concerning that sample is done, because once you get back to your base, you can just leave it on the Rover and it'll keep researching, and you're just finished. The moment you put a research sample on this Rover, it is going to be completely and totally researched without you ever having to do a thing again. And the next one is that on Glacio, and this is where you want to do this, because there's really good research samples on Glacio. On Glacio, there are these little pyramid-looking things, and you'll see it on screen now. You have to put power into those, and if you have a Rover, you can just plug it in. That's all you have to do. Normally, this is a big hassle, but with the Rover, all you have to do is plug it in, and it'll power them and open it up and give you a research sample that you can put on this thing to get all the research you ever needed in your whole life, and so that's good. Alright, my children, coming in at number 1 is going to be Captain Scrapton, my very favorite rover of all time, the greatest rover of all time. And so, World Class Jerk, what does Captain Scrapton do? Well, Captain Scrapton turns your soil into scrap while you're still mining the soil, which is amazing because it's like you're mining scrap, but it's everywhere, and that's not even possible. Well, this thing is just so awesome that it makes it happen anyways. So we're going to do a quick rundown of this thing. Here in the front, we have our RTGs for power, obviously. We want consistent and a crap ton of power for this thing, and so everything's going at max speed all the time, which is a good thing. Then we have a soil centrifuge that turns your soil into resin, which with this here small printer gets turned into canisters. Now, World Class Jerk, won't these canisters just fall off the back of the Rover? No. So they go onto this thing right here, and then they get picked up from this thing and go over to the scrapper where they are scrapped and then put into a large resource canister. This thing takes up every single slot possible on a Rover because you can only have 4 trailers and every single spot is needed for this thing. So we barely made it, guys, but we did make it, and we made Captain Scrapton. Oh, I'm willing to bet you didn't see this abrupt outro coming, and so like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave comments and suggestions, and goodbye.